Last time we started talking about seven mini challenges of how to encourage your child's relationship with God. And the first four that we talked about were share your spiritual thoughts with your kids. Number two was raise questions to your kids that make them think. Number three was share your personal challenges with your kids. And number four was encourage your kids to speak to God. Today, we want to talk about number five, number six, and number seven. Number five is show kids how God is in school with them all day long. A school is a crowded and noisy place, and sometimes if their school is anything like my school was, or maybe your school, it's not a very godly place, and it can be easy to get in the mindset of I left God at home, or I left God on the bus, and he's not really here with me in the school. But help your kids to understand that he's always there, both as a comfort and as a witness if they do something they shouldn't be doing. So when kids tell you about something bad that happened, you might say something like, well, I want you to know that even though God saw that, he still loves you very, very much. But I wonder how that made him feel. And I wonder how that made you feel. So there's this idea of connecting what went on at school with their relationship with God. So remind kids often, God not only helped build that school, but he's there all day long. He wants to help you there as well as at home. It was one of my traditions, because I was the primary one who took the kids to school in the morning or walked to the bus stop with them and waited for the bus. One of the things that I did frequently was ask the question just before they got out of the car or got on the bus. I either said, who's with you all day long, or don't forget who's with you all day long. And sometimes when I'd ask the question, they'd say something silly and we'd both laugh. But in the end, the last thing they heard before I left them was a reminder about who was with them all day long. And I think, as I previously mentioned, our daughter would tell us later that even though she was starting a school that was speaking a different language in a different country that she wasn't really familiar with yet, and she had anxieties and some worries, when they would take a break, like recess, she would walk around the perimeter of the school talking to God about her anxieties, talking to God about her day. And that's what helped her get through. Challenge number six, talk when you walk, talk when you drive. Often we're driving our kids somewhere and we're not really having a conversation with them. Maybe there are other kids in the car, or maybe we're just not used to having conversation with our kids at all. But it's a great opportunity with a captive audience to talk about things that are really important. And it could be anything in their lives: sports, school, their friends, sex. But somehow connecting the conversation you're having with them about their relationship with the Lord. So when driving, take time to share something with your kids about the Lord, and maybe even sharing from your own life, a struggle you're going through that you're asking him to help you with, or a recent answer to prayer that he brought, or even reflecting back on your own days in school. And if there's something that you can share connecting your relationship with the Lord, it helps them to hear, because a lot of times discipleship is not taught as much as it's caught. So to hear you speak about it, to see you live it out, is super important and super helpful. Or maybe not driving with them, maybe walking with them. A lot of experts say walking is really one of the best kinds of exercise. And so maybe take your kid on a walk with you instead of doing the treadmill at the gym. Or you got to take the dog for a walk, or your kid's got to take the dog for a walk. Do it together. Use that opportunity to engage with them in a way that will help encourage their own relationship with the Lord. And then challenge number seven, this is should be obvious. Don't neglect your own relationship with the Lord. Talk to God yourself during the day. And equally important, really listen because he wants to speak to you as well. James 1:5 says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all generously and without reproach. God will never tell you your question is stupid or that he's too busy, come back later. He wants to communicate with you. And it doesn't matter where you're at in your life or what you're doing, he's right there with you. And the best way to get your kids to want to communicate with him is to see you doing it and hear about and see the results in your own life. You will be more peaceful, more joyful, and you will have plenty more to talk to your kids about. And then finally, I'll say one more thing about it, and that is praying with your kids is super important. We did this with our kids through high school, usually before they went to bed at night. And not just now I pray the Lord, now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul. Nothing like that. Like, hey, what's on your mind? What are you struggling with? What's really hard? What do you want to see God do? What do you want to thank God for? How can I pray for you this week? Those kind of questions. It not only gave us something to pray about, it engendered development of our own relationship with each other. And prayer is an intimacy builder. Husbands and wives should pray together. Parents, pray together with your kids. Kids, pray together with your parents. It builds relationship with each other and with God. Probably one of the very best things you can do for your own relationship with God and encouraging your children's relationship with God as well.